कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, police investigate alleged brutality, questions over service road exemptions, and duty reductions will not harm local manufacturers.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
An investigation is underway following claims of alleged police assault reported at the Nausori police station over the weekend. The victim claims he was assaulted by police officers following a confrontation in town. Acting Commissioner Rusiate Thendravu has directed Internal Affairs to investigate, and if true, those responsible will be charged. Spokesperson Ananai Soro says those allegedly involved are yet to be identified.
At this stage, we are yet to identify the police officers that the claims have been made against. The investigation will be has commenced. So once that is done, once we have managed to confirm the identity of these officers, then the acting commissioner of police will make the necessary or make the decision.
Questions are being raised on how property developers have received exemption for certain commercial lots which don't comply with regulations. Economy Minister Ayasai Kayum, while speaking to business owners in Nandi, highlighted that commercial and industrial businesses are required to make their own service roads. Apanisa Wangarandovu reports the minister is particularly concerned about developers along the Nandi-Lautoka highway as government plans to develop a 4-lane road.
The minister has hinted that developers know what is expected of them, yet continue to disregard regulations.
You can't have multiple driveways coming onto the highway. As we've announced, we're going to do a 4-laning of the road. We need to do 4-laning. We have people who build properties, some of them have got exemptions, I don't know how, where when they wash their driveway, the water all comes on the highway. So the highway is wet, the cars get muddy, the mud goes on. You know, these are very basic things. So you have to actually adhere.
Syed Kayum says the Lautoka Nandi 4-lane road is critical and developers not doing their part will affect the project and taxpayers' funds.
The cost of you not actually wanting to adhere to the regulations will mean that government will have to fork out a lot more money, will have to eat into your roads now, into your land now, you know, or later on I should say, to build those service roads.
Fiji Roads Authority Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says the expansion plan is a priority as it will address multiple issues including aging assets.
The roads around Fiji are the lifeline of Fiji. If one of the bridges goes down, one of the roads is impassable on the major highways, then the economy and the convenience for people is very badly hit.
The Lautoka Nandi 4-lane project in 3 phases is expected to end early 2023. Apanisa Wangarandovu, FBC News.
The local noodle manufacturers will not be impacted by the duty reduction on 1,600 items, which was announced in the national budget. The Economy Minister has clarified that they have re-looked at the tariff structure and the duty on imported instant noodles remains at 32%, hence protecting the local producers. Kritika Kumar reports.
The Economy Minister says there was a general tariff code line which included noodles. However, they have taken a nuanced approach to the tariff structures.
But all the other pasta, noodle, family-related products have come down to 5%. So next time you go and eat your chow mein, the chow mein should be cheaper. They are, so those noodles are not made in Fiji. And the hoteliers obviously need to reduce their price as far as, noodles are concerned.
Ayasai Kayum says they have gone through each and every product to make it more perspective. One of the local manufacturers, FMF Foods Limited, believes this is an ideal way to encourage local manufacturers and to provide job security to Fijians.
Almost 121 workers that are dependent on this work that they do in this factory, and therefore that many livelihoods. So we are very, very happy that their jobs have been protected. And it's very important that local manufacture be encouraged, and we are very happy that the government has done that.
Bajikal says the announcement will also reduce import substitution, adding the local noodles also has a small export market. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The challenges created by the COVID-19 pandemic has inspired many Fijians to become entrepreneurs as they have been thinking out of the box to generate income. The Reserve Bank of Fiji says the creativity, resilience and entrepreneurship shown by our people during this crisis is a positive sign of people becoming job creators. Koroi Tandalala has more.
Fijians are becoming innovative and capitalizing on their skills to earn money, which is in line with the government's vision to have more job creators as opposed to job seekers.
A gentleman who used to bring his own vegetables and all this stuff and supply to the banks or to the businesses. He's setting up a website. And he is actually going into the app as well. It's how you can actually take advantage in these sort of environment.
The Reserve Bank is confident that many of the business ventures that popped up during the pandemic will remain, even after the economy recovers, with people developing and sharpening their business skills over time. The micro, small and medium enterprises in Fiji contributes over 18% to our GDP. Small businesses are also recognized as an integral part of our economy and are important contributors to job creation and economic development.
You could sit there and say that there is no job, there is no job, there is no job. But when you start thinking that how you can actually put these people into a different job to earn money, that there is some amount allocated in terms of upskilling and in your skills and all that. So I think people should take advantage of that.
The Ministry of Commerce and Trade is providing training and economic guidance to Fijians so they can have the necessary skills and knowledge to succeed in their business. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
Up ahead, announcement on SME loans expected soon. And taxi business in capital city picking up.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Taxi business in the capital city is slowly picking up. FBC News spoke to some drivers at the supermarket taxi station today who were making more runs compared to the last few months. Kelly Vadala reports the taxi base has more than 100 drivers who are all still in operation.
The gloomy business days for these drivers may soon fade away.
Just slowly picking up. It's not like COVID time, it was nothing like that. COVID time only $30, $40 like that. We have very struggling time that time. But it's slowly picking up now. It's not that bad.
Taxi driver Manjeet Singh says business is becoming competitive due to the current curfew restrictions.
The night shift taxis and the day shift taxis are operating at one time at the moment. So that's the major problem at the moment. The curfew hours, that's a major problem at the moment.
These drivers are also claiming that drivers from other taxi bays are taking advantage of the improved economic activity.
The job is there, there's a lot of taxi surrounding from our base outside there on the main road. The jobs have to come in the market base, they cut the job from outside.
Taxi business had dropped in March when thousands of Fijians were laid off work due to COVID-19. Some of them were major clients of taxi drivers. Fast forward 5 months and business is actually doing well as it's picking up here at this supermarket stand.
These taxi drivers says Fridays and Saturdays are mostly busy days for them as many people flock to the city to do their shopping. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
An announcement on the update of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Loan Scheme will be made soon. The Ministry of Industry and Trade received hundreds of applications from various businesses in June, and a team of specialists are currently vetting them. Saniani Boiler reports.
Fijians rush to apply for the assistance in an effort to either sustain their business or open up new ones.
Very good positive news shortly, and the ministry doesn't get involved in the actual assessment process. It's being done by the accountant firms and FCF, etc. that are involved in it. But we should have some news shortly with respect to the numbers.
Pritesh Lal, whose stall was destroyed during the flea market fire, says he applied for the loan hoping for the best.
We apply a loan from government. We're waiting for them that if they assist us. Assist all of free market, the one is already banned, so we can bring our stock and we can start our business.
The team that is currently vetting applications consists of officers from the Women in Business, the Fiji Institute of Accountants, the Fiji Chamber of Commerce, and the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
Local artists are looking to relish in the opportunity to perform at the Pacific's first ever virtual concert this Saturday. The United Nations Pacific Office has announced the concert aims to unite the region in its fight against COVID-19. The concert that will air live on the FBC2 TV channel and will be hosted by Auntie Tala from the Laughing Samoans and feature artists from Fiji and across the Pacific. One of the performers, Inoke Kalonisinga, better known as Knox, says they will pay tribute to essential workers during the concert.
Some have, some have sadly passed away because of it. Others have managed to come through it unscathed, and but it's still an ongoing thing. But yeah, we're here to celebrate the lives of those who have gone, and to be a voice of encouragement for those who are still fighting.
Turning overseas, the US has surpassed 5 million cases of COVID-19, but the milestone is doing little to keep the people off the streets. One of the biggest motorcycle rallies in the world is going ahead with masks few and far between. And Whitney joins us now with business.
Thanks, Jackie. In business tonight, Fiji Airways increases freight services. And in growing Fiji, Bowling Club praised for promoting Fijian-made brand. Stay with us.
Pula nadang go aproslan garse, go erkraki. Do television navarong na Radio Fiji 1, nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1, nandomo ibiti.
Fiji Airways has increased its weekly freighter services to up to 10 flights per week. Services between Nandi and Auckland have increased to up to 3 flights per week, while the Nandi-Sydney and Nandi-Los Angeles flights operate up to twice a week. Freight services to Hong Kong and Port Vila in Papua New Guinea remain at 1 per week. Between 1st April and 30th June, Fiji Airways carried about 1,205 tons of exports, consisting of fresh produce, garments, kava, and seafood. Inbound freight consisted of consignments for businesses as well as almost 52 tons of essential medical supplies, including vaccines, test kits, medicine, and humanitarian aid. Fiji Airways Managing Director and CEO Andre Filion says the airline remains committed to dedicated freighter services vital to the supply chain for export sector. RB Patel Group has declared a final dividend of 1.3% per share, amounting to over $1.9 million. The dividend, which will be paid by September 8th, will bring the total dividends paid for the financial year to over $4.05 million. Company Chair Yogesh Karan, while announcing the dividend, said he is happy with the company's results for the year. The group's revenue increased by over 3% to $140 million, while profit from operations increased by almost 8% to $11.9 million. Karan says, considering the global conditions, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the competitive nature of the industry, the company's results are pleasing. We now join Sanifa from HFC Bank with the latest in the money markets.
On the South Pacific Stock Exchange last week, 10 listed entities recorded trade with 8 noting share price movements. As such, the total market value increased by 2.57% and concluded the week at $3.55 billion. On the foreign exchange front, turnover was light with Tokyo on a holiday today and considerable uncertainty on whether U.S. policymakers can agree a new package of physical support for the virus-hit economy. On the data front, the U.S. has consumer prices on Wednesday and retail sales on Friday. This is expected to show a solid bounce in spending before the latest round of social restrictions took some steam out of the economy. New Zealand will be announcing their interest rate decision, with Australia releasing their unemployment rate for July. A raft of Chinese figures is due this week, which is forecast to show a continued recovery, while European Union production data is also expected to please. That's a wrap from our local stock market and from HFC Bank, Vinaka.
Looking at today's local exchange rates as set this morning, we rose against the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar and the euro. It weakened against the Chinese yuan, US dollar, the kina and the Japanese yen. Looking at the commodities, it was a decrease all around. Crude oil down to $41.69 per barrel. Gold was at $2,027 per ounce and silver also falling and ending at $27.92 an ounce. In growing Fiji, President Major General retired Chochi Kondrote has commended the management and officials of the Suva Bowling Club for promoting the Fijian-made brand. Speaking at the opening of the refurbished clubhouse, the president highlighted that the new extensions and renovation were all designed, built and installed by Fijian-owned business entities. These refurbishing included the erection of a permanent function tent, the extension of a canopy to fully cover the outdoor recreation area, and the provision of the outdoor furnishings.
A most commendable achievement indeed in promoting the Fijian-made brand, particularly during this most difficult and challenging time, consequent upon the very detrimental social and economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thank you, Whitney, and good evening. Bar striker suspended for 3 years. And injury woes for Suva Rugby. This and more in sports after the break.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi. And Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Bar football captain Saula Wanga has been suspended for 3 years after testing positive for marijuana. This has been confirmed by Fiji Football Association Chief Executive Mohammed Yusuf, who says the Bar striker is a repeat offender. Wanga is the only player who tested positive out of the 72 tests that were carried out during the Punja's Battle of the Giants tournament at Churchill Park in Lautoka over the weekend. In addition to the 3-year suspension, Wanga also faces a $500 fine. The all-in-one Builders Nandi football team have set the pace after the first weekend of the Punja's Battle of the Giants with 3 solid wins, finishing top of their pool. But despite the Jet Setters' impressive start, they know they'll need to dig deep against the boys from the capital in the semi-finals. Tali Materakula has more.
Coach Kamal Swami commended the players' performance, who endured the scorching sun for 3 days.
When we played, the players got more gel together, and then they were able to combine passes and keep possession, which was very good. Plus, defending was good. So that is all about football.
And our mission was to just qualify for the semi-final, and we accomplished it. We have 1 week of preparation left to rectify our mistake. So we'll just go back to drawing board and do the recovery, and from there we'll prepare for our semi-final.
Wary of what the capital side can bring to the field, the Jet Setters say they will give it their best to make the finals.
They are a good team, so we are not taking them lightly. And since it's a tournament, every team is preparing well.
It will be a tough battle because Suva has all best players, and I think it will be a tough battle, but we'll try our best.
Nandi clashes with Suva on Saturday at 4 p.m. in the second semi-final, and Priceline Pharmacy Mba takes on Delta One Automotive Repairs Rewa in the first semi-final at 2 p.m. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
National football coach Fleming Seritslev is happy with the football on display at the Punja's Battle of the Giants tournament so far. He has been particularly impressed with the younger players. Giving his analysis after the pool matches yesterday, the former Danish international says there was high intensity from the majority of teams despite the weather conditions.
Have been playing too many long balls. We saw it in the last match where we had Suva versus Bar. Both of them actually used a lot of long balls, but there has also been actually more or less half of the matches has been played with good football on the ground. We have seen, as I told you, 2 or 3 very good matches on a high level.
The Suva rugby side will be missing some of its key players in Saturday's Skipper Cup clash against Tailevu. This following injuries sustained in last week's match against Nandi at Prince Charles Park. Tale Materakula reports.
Backline players including Sevens reps Terio Tamani, Aluciano Nduva and Chiuta Weningolo were injured during Saturday's match.
Those will probably be the X factors that we will try to replace in the game against Tailevu this week.
Suva rugby manager Nemani Tuifangalele says, depending on the seriousness of the injuries, the players are likely to miss out on this week's match.
They would be looked at by the observation by the doctors today. I think one of our, not really serious, but we are concerned about the impact of the game on Friday against the 3 players. I think they came out, 2 of them came out in the first half, and we think that the injuries should be looked at and properly, and we should probably rest them for the games against Tailevu this week.
Meanwhile, Lautoka is one team that has faced the wrath of Tailevu after losing 17-26 in round 2. Maroons chair Tevita Momo Ndonu says the loss was a learning curve.
We will keep on improving. Our target is to remain in the skipper this year. From here, we'll keep on improving.
Suva will meet Tailevu on Saturday at Ratu Takbo Park in Osori, while Lautoka takes on Nandi at Churchill Park. Both games will kick off at 3 p.m. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
Fiji Hockey is looking to revive its associations in Nandi and Levuka. This is part of the sports development initiatives. Fiji Hockey Secretary Chone Tuipelehaki says reviving other associated clubs will allow them to broaden their numbers and elevate the standard of the sport.
The majority of the clubs are coming from Suva Hockey. We also have a few clubs in Lautoka. We're also looking to reviving other clubs, the association in Nandi, and as well as Levuka.
The Parramatta Eels have survived another narrow win in the NRL, this time over the Sharks last night. The Eels edged the Cronulla 14-12 to share the second spot on the ladder with the Storm. In today's Play of the Day, Barcelona set up a Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich after an inspiring performance by Lionel Messi. Barca won 3-1, and this goal by Messi was the pick of the lot. That's it from Sports Tonight. In new media after the break, take a look at Sony's new wireless headphones. This and more coming up.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In new media tonight, we take a look at Sony's much-anticipated next-generation noise-cancelling headphones. And Angie is here now with the latest in weather.
Bonjour and welcome to the Weather World. Hope your weekend was amazing because the weather was brilliant. So many outdoor sports happened under fine conditions. Now that same weekend weather followed into Monday, the skies all across were blue and looked superb. Now in the west, the westerners based in another hot day. Temps shot to 34 degrees, but it felt like 36 or 37. Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, finer conditions were present, I must say, after some time. Suva didn't have rain for 2 straight days. And up north, there were lots of sunshine, which may trigger a few showers later on across southern half of the island. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, moderate to rough seas. Now turning to the tides, high tide at 11:36 p.m. with low tide at 5:53 a.m. Sunrise at 6:28. For tomorrow, many places are set for quite grey, but that will burn away. Tomorrow's temps, Savu Savu will be the coolest at 29 degrees, while Lambasa will be warm at 32. And looking further on to Wednesday, cloud and breezes in some place may result in milder weather in the high teens. That's all the weather news from my end. Have a wonderful week ahead. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, are you satisfied with the lifting of the ban on Kawakawa and Donu?
Yes, it's a great decision to lift the ban on Kaukau and Donu because for us in Lau, our main source of income is fish, and it's a A-grade fish, so we are so grateful.
But now, I'm thankful for the government, they lifted it, so that people can eat.
We are satisfied and happy to hear that the ban on Kaukau and Donu has been lifted because it will greatly help us during this trying time.
It's a good decision as this will help fishermen who fish to sell, and it can also help their families to provide for their daily needs.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, a couple are making over 100,000 a year by professionally shearing sheep, llamas, alpacas and more. They believe their calling in life is to shear. Recapping the main stories for tonight, police investigate alleged brutality. Questions over service road exemptions and duty reductions will not harm local manufacturers. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question last week we had asked, should public transport have separate lanes during peak hour traffic? 71% said yes. Now this week we're asking, are you happy with the lifting of the Kawakawa and Donu ban? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day. First one for this week, numerous scientific studies have shown that the beach and the ocean air can actually help calm your brain. This shot was captured by Felipe Naikaso. You can send us newsworthy pictures to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News, our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow from the team and I, stay safe. Bye for now.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.